Yes, Ashwati.
Yes. 18A, you may please start.
Should I start as the timer started?
Yes.
No, no. Once you, yeah, you may please start and then I'll start putting the time. Yeah.
I shall begin now. Started. Everyone present here. Let's slide, like, drive apart from this entire debate thing, and I want all of you to visualize the thing I'm saying. Visualize one thing I want you to understand. Now let's imagine that from a distant relative or some of your even your parents call you and tell you that you had a relative or distant relative who was a millionaire or something, and he had with him large huge amounts of wealth, properties, and all of it. And naturally, as because he has passed away, the only higher remaining is you are his distant nephew or something, and you are going to inherit all of his wealth. So, coming again, so with this question, I want to ask all of you that this inherited wealth which you are about to get, is it legal or not? Or is it right to have that wealth? All of my law peers or the people who study law will say that yes, it's legally correct. You are the only hire and all the rules are satisfied, then yes, you are totally bound to have this wealth. But is it really correct? Have I worked for it? Do I have any contribution in this wealth to the property? But still, I'm getting the wealth, right? So, is this thing kind of nepotism wherein I am favored because only I am a relative of that person or the person who has amassed that wealth? Good morning, good afternoon, all of you. I am participant number 18A, and today I would like to speak for the motion that nepotism is a bedrock of social existence. Sorry, first of all, to all of you, I put up this question instead of just starting a debate because I personally think that once we take this topic to the personal level, then only we'll be able to find social solutions of this entire debate. And the thing happening around here or the entire circle is when nepotism word strikes out, we are just concerned about Sushant Singh Rajput, the nepotism in Bollywood, the nepotism in Indian politics, and various examples from the globe. People will start talking about the politics in US, this, that. But my friends here, we are interested in this debate. We are more interested in talking about nepotism as a bedrock of social existence. And hence, we should be more considered about uh, is it right from the start or right from with the history that it is being the basis of the way human interact. Now, I would like to again pose you a question for all of you that imagine a herd, a tribe of nomads somewhere around 10,000 years ago, and they are a group of around 30 to 40 people, and they have a patriarch head who is about
2 minutes left.
to speak. And will he give his property or his charges to someone outsider who is more deserved, or will he give entire thing to the person who knows? This has been around right from start of we being human, right from Homo sapiens evolved. We have been working in tribes. We have been living off. We have been progressing. We have been developing in modes of tribes. And when tribes come in, there comes a family. There comes it's favoring ourselves or favoring our close group. And this has been around. There is nothing new, or the debate is asn't of now. This favorism thing or this family thing has been around for a lot of time. Also, I would like to point out the key thing about this nepotism debate is that the official definition or the most popular definition says favoring of relatives in positions, property, and jobs, whatnot. But the relative word is kind of ambiguous because the nepotism word has been derived when in 1692 the popes used to give positions or the cardinal positions to their nephews. But why do they used to give this position to their nephews? Because they didn't have their children. So basically, it was about inheriting their stuff, their property, their what they have achieved to their next generation. And even if you observe nepotism on a large basis, the majority fraction of this nepotism would be revolved around giving opportunities or more favors to their children, their offspring. Relatives come in the picture, but the major chunk of it is more related to giving those favors to their offspring. So the relative world here is confusing, and I would like to more point out this was all general stuff, and forgive me if I was being more drifted from topic and
Speaker, your time is up.
it is bias with us right from our
Thank you, 18A. 21B, are you good to go?
Yes, I'm all set. Am I audible enough to everyone
Yes.
present here? All right.
Yes.
Shall we
Only
begin then?
if I could request you to slightly place your camera upwards.
All right. Is this fine?
Yes, this is fine.
All right. So shall I begin?
Just a minute. Ashwati, take over.
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
All right. So good afternoon, every one of you present here. I will be speaking against the motion that is nepotism not being a bedrock of social existence. Now, simply, I won't go into detail about what is nepotism, but I will just simply clarify it. That is favoring your family members or relatives over competent individuals. So that is basically nepotism. And let's get on to what Fukuyama, who is an American scientist, stated about nepotism. He simply says that family ties form dependent individuals and prevents the development of the country. And the continuance of such complex family and relative ties and relative relations, it prevents economical progress. So wherever there's self-interest and solidarity in family, and that is a priority, and ethical values is an option that leads to nepotism. Now, according to the facts, the family business of every country across the globe, it occupies around 50 to 80% of employment sector in the world. And as we all know that nepotism is a close relative of monopoly, nepotism leads to monopoly and monopoly breeds further nepotism, and which ultimately prevents the economical development of an individual or at an individual level, or you can say that socio-economic existence of an individual, and it ultimately impacts the economy at large. So, though equality is guaranteed to us under various articles in our constitution, such as Article 14 and Article 16, Article 14 talks about equality before law, equal protection of law, whereas Article 16 says that all citizens shall be given equal opportunity in public employment. Still, no feeling of equality prevails in our society, and nepotism is a hindrance to the concept of equality and thereby to the development of one's social existence. Now, there was an article in Times of India dated October 14, 2016, which talks about two Dalit police officers of Tamil Nadu who protested against caste-based discrimination, which they faced in firearms unit. So when they actually realized that their complaints were not entertained by the senior officers of the department, they attempted to immolate themselves outside the DGP's office. And nepotism was one of the grounds where the complaints of Dalit police officers were not recorded or registered. Coming to the next term, that is fratricide, which means killing of people of one's own country or of one's own group. Now, this was a common universal practice in ancient times, that is killing of people of one's own group, or engaging into a war, emergence of war for the accession of the throne. Now, I would like to explain this term with a certain examples, that being first of Babur and Humayun. Babur was the first Mughal emperor, and his son Humayun, he was an appointed heir to the throne, and yet he had to fight a war with all his brothers for the accession of throne, being an appointed heir to please mark this point, that being an appointed head, he had to fight war with all his brothers for the accession of throne. Another example being of Shah Jahan or Aurangzeb and Dara Shikoh, who was the eldest son of Shah Jahan. Now, in this case, Shah Jahan preferred and favored Dara Shikoh, who was the eldest son of him, to be the next emperor after him to the throne. So, in this case, when they emerged a war, Aurangzeb actually emerged victorious in the war and ascended to the throne, despite the favor and the preference was towards Dara Shikoh, who was the eldest son of Shah Jahan. There was another example where Shah Jahan killed his own eldest brother, Khusrau Mirza, for the accession of throne. And last but not the least, one more example I would like to give here, that is Ottoman Empire in Turkey. Again, the similar case. There are several certain cases and similar cases that derive the fact that nepotism nepotism has not been a bedrock of their existence, because the positions, the thrones, they are earned by these emperors and they are not acquired by merely being, by merely being, by merely being an appointed head. They have earned it, and so it clearly proves the point that nepotism has not been a basis of social existence. And there are several such cases. And if the question arises, because ABC was XYZ's son and hence got to fight a war for the throne, at the end, firstly, I would like to point out that not all family members, all right, not all family members, they are favored. Because there are internal personal conflicts at the end. So not all the family members are favored, and all the favored ones are not necessarily preferred. For instance, if there are 5 family members who are favored by someone at authority, and there are 2 positions of vacancy, someone who is at authority cannot appoint all 5 of them to those 2 positions of vacancy, because it's not possible for them, because then he'll make a preference of 2 out of 5, and that's why not all favored family members are necessarily preferred too. Again, I would like to bring in the point of corruption here, as it goes hand in hand. Corruption being one of the major issues in India, and nepotism being one of the cause factors of corruption. It's important that certain measures, certain federal laws are passed with a view to curb nepotism as a whole, to ensure that there's minimalistic amount of corruption in India. Last but not the least, I acknowledge that my non-acknowledgement to the point that is not nepotism not being a bedrock of social existence. I actually acknowledge to the fact that it might actually turn into a gravestone of social existence, as many people are negatively affected from nepotism. Now, I would like to place a few questions for my opponent and the participants who are for the motion. That don't you think that it is a hindrance to the right granted to us under Article 19G in our Constitution, that says that you're free to practice any profession or carry on any occupation, business, or trade? And don't you think that fundamental rights guaranteed to us in our Constitution, they indirectly discard the base of nepotism? And also, 2 more questions. What is your take on Kim Jong-un's administration in North Korea, which is again the product of nepotism? Don't you think that the people are not given? Just 10 seconds, ma'am, please. One more question: that what about others who are not given a fair chance due to presence of nepotism? And hence, I feel that it is rather a barrier than a bedrock of social existence. And I rest my arguments with this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, 21B.
Thank you so much.
The next team up is 20A and 17B.